What's going on, Washington fans? Welcome to the JTFB YouTube channel. I'm Josh Taylor. If you're new here, I'm a content creator for Washington and also covering the team for Bleacher Report, just a contributor there. So on this episode, guys, I'm going live because I'm going to do my first live mock draft so far this season. I'll try not to do that many from now till draft night when I'm going to be in Detroit for the draft. I'll probably do about, I don't know, 3 or 4 live mock drafts. Just depends on like how much things change from now to then. But I want to do a pre-free agency mock draft and just kind of give my thoughts on, position, availability, but then also some good fits for Washington. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. Blow up the chat, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and then hit like if you enjoy what you see. And then you can also support the channel by becoming a member for only $2.99 a month, getting some exclusive perks and access. But also, like I said, supporting the channel so I can do this more often and hopefully full time eventually. So let's dive right into it, guys. I personally use PFF for their mock draft simulator. And just because I agree with their rankings and stuff more than I do with other websites. Some people enjoy some other ones. What's going up, Pat? We got some people coming to the chat already. Kenny, what's going on? Appreciate y'all stopping by. Already got some people trickling in here. So I'm going to go live and do this mock draft. Like I said, and I want to hear from y'all too. If there's a pick you like, let me hear it. Tell me why. Like I said, let's get right to it. I've already got it brought up. Tommy T says it's crazy. The combine is here and free agency is right around the corner. Literally, like it's funny because we talk about like, oh my gosh, there's no football. What are we gonna do, guys? It's gonna be happening fast. I'm not going to the combine this year. Just from everyone I've talked to, people have just said it's not really worth it, and I kind of agree. And I heard some other people talking about it. I'm like, combine is not really my thing. I would just be sitting there watching practices and drills, and that's just not me. Like I need action, not shorts running around, doing stuff. I need some action. So I'm gonna stay back here. I'm gonna watch the combine. I have a stream Tuesday I'm doing on the Bleacher Report app live, just breaking down more of draft prospects for Washington, just fits that I like, but then also just once again, not really. I might do some that I picked tonight. I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm just going to be giving more of like players that I love for Washington in the draft. So tune in at on Tuesday, 1:00 Eastern time on the Bleacher Report app. I'll be doing that. Let's get it. Are we trading back? Come on. The Heineke stuff is every single video, man. You got to retire it. He's not going to be in the league. What's going on, radar? Let's see what we're thinking. Dalen Holker is going to be a top 10 tight end. I like Holker. I've been watching him a little bit lately. So let's see what we got cooking up here, guys. Like I said, if you see something you like, let me know. I always do positional value a little bit higher. Because I think it's realistic. And then randomness, I do less. Like I want to see it. It helps really like the more likely scenarios happen. I see some people doing it with like half, and then you see like Drake May going 1. Like that's not going to happen, guys. So let's start it. Obviously, Caleb's going to go first, as he should. Boom, Caleb Williams. And it's funny because I saw some things today, saying that the market for Justin Fields might not be what people think it is, which it's pretty much what I've been thinking. I think he's okay, but I just don't think he's that good. So there, in my mind, there's no scenario that Washington trades back. I'm going to try to not take too much time for this number 2 pick because in my mind, I'm 100% of like where I'm going every time I do this. I've tried different things. I've messed around with it. The more likely scenario is we pick this certain player. I do not see a way Washington trades back. I've seen so many people saying, oh, Josh, we can trade back and get a quarterback next year. That is not how the NFL works. You can't just put off the most important position and be like, well, we can just roll with Sam Howell again. And also saw something today saying that like we could trade Sam Howell for a 3rd. Guys, we drafted him in the 5th. There's nothing he did last year that said, hey, he's worth a 3rd now, by the way. I don't believe any of that I've seen. As a matter of fact, like I would like to keep him as a backup. If you did get a 3rd for him, you hit that immediately. But there's no way we're trading him for a 3rd round pick. Like I said, he was a 5th round pick and his stock didn't go up 2 rounds last year. Not at all. And the draft class this year is super deep. I don't really like the class next year. Of course, someone's going to pop out, but it could be one of those weird drafts. I don't like it. Adam Peters will draft May. We got May Day, says Radar. I like it. To be honest with you guys, that's the way I'm leaning every single time right now. Here we are, end of February. Drake May is my pick. I'm going to tell you why. He makes the big time throws. He's the number one big time throwing quarterback in the last like 7-8 years, something ridiculous. He had 44 on target drops the last 2 seasons by his wide receivers. That's a lot. That's a lot. And then honestly, I pop on the tape and I see it every time. Like I see Justin Herbert. I see people talking about other quarterbacks. It just reminds me of a younger, more raw Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert played at Oregon for a long time. You know, he got the experience. He got to refine his mechanics, his footwork, all that good stuff. And I think Drake May could do that too. I'm not going to compare him to Josh Allen, but you just remember Josh Allen coming out. He didn't have the sexiest stats. Wyoming wasn't like in the playoffs or anything like that. When you're really looking at these quarterbacks, you just have to watch the quarterback, watch what they do, and really just break that down. I'm sick of people helmet scouting or saying like, oh, he didn't make the playoffs, or oh, they played in the ACC. Like, just watch the quarterback. Is he perfect? No. I don't think Caleb Williams is perfect, but I think he's one of the best prospects in a while since like Lawrence. Trevor was like the unanimous number one guy. Caleb Williams has been the number one guy for 2 years now. I think Drake May is worthy of the number 2 pick, though. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is the better prospect. I think he is the number 2 prospect, so I agree with this. I like that they have Malik Neighbors at 4 too. I agree with that as well. But my honest opinion, Drake May is the guy at 2. He can extend the plays. People talk about, oh, he's sneaky athletic. No, he is really athletic, and he's really good at extending the plays. So you talk about Caleb Williams. You talk about this, how he can make something out of nothing. I see that in Drake May's game. I see there was another stat talking about like the most first downs picked up with his legs on like 3rd and 4th down. Like Drake May was like number 1. I forgot by how much it was. But like, once again, it's not the perfect tape, but you just see what you can get out of him. I think his ceiling is so high. I think it's higher than Jaden Daniels. I think Jaden Daniels could hit the ground literally running faster and just kind of be like a quicker transition to the NFL. But when you're talking about long-term ceiling, I think Drake May has him cleared from a passing standpoint, maybe not a running standpoint. But when you're talking about passing, you're talking about touch and velocity. Drake May understands that. Drake May knows how to drop things in a certain way when Jaden Daniels really isn't leading his wide receivers too much. I know he had Malik Neighbors. He had Brian Thomas Jr. who's probably a top 20 pick as well. Guys that were just open a lot. And there was just times where Jaden Daniels had a play that he could make with his arm, and he would decide to not and just run it instead. That's what bothered me the most. Once again, crazy legs. Crazy legs. It's a weapon. He uses them. That's great. But at the next level, how many times are you going to be hit? You need to be able to say, okay, this is not the play where I'm going to use my legs. This is the play where I need to take what the defense gives me. I have an open wide receiver. I need to make this play. How many times has a running quarterback been able to make it to the Super Bowl and been able to win a game, with just his legs? I don't see it. You have to be able to make these crazy throws. Let's get to some comments before I drop it and jump into this next one, because this one's really tough. I can't tell you. I'll be at the gym on the treadmill just looking at this pick. I do mock drafts all the time, and this is where I get stuck so many times. So I'm going to talk about it. I want y'all's thoughts too. Let's see. I had some Jaden Daniels fans. Just seeing Daniels taking brutal hits in college, that won't fly in the NFL. He took a lot, and Kurt Binkert, shout out to Kurt. Some people hate him. I like him. He did a video for the Alabama game showing that Jaden Daniels got better at that as well, which is great. But at the same time, it's a different game. Is he going to be able to make those crazy runs in the NFL? I think so. It's just not going to be to that extent that you saw in college. And once again, you don't want to get hit. But with the flags and stuff now, it's much easier for quarterbacks to run. I mean, you saw the Miami game when they played Patrick Mahomes. There was guys that did not want to touch Patrick Mahomes because they knew they were going to get flagged. And then he just walked into the end zone. Guys were just like, oh. like barely touching Patrick Mahomes. That's just what officiating in the NFL is now. I absolutely hate it. Your analysis of May is exact same as how UNC couldn't produce winners, need to get off the May train. But they are so different. And you can talk about not even just height and size, just taking sacks alone. Sam Howell is one of the worst out of prospects in the last 10 years. Him and Malik Willis were the worst at taking, or creating their own sacks, like pressure rate to sack conversion. Sam Howell was bad. And we saw that the first year. And, that leads to turnovers. That leads to 3 and outs. It's not sustainable. He was not able to extend plays and make something from nothing in college like Drake May has been able to. Now, another thing is Sam Howell has a strong arm. That dude can sling it. I will say it. Slinging Sam Howell can throw the ball. But as of right now, he does not really understand. I don't want to say understand. I'm not calling him stupid. I think Sam Howell's a great quarterback. He just doesn't have the ability and the touch that Drake May has. Every ball coming out of Sam's hands this past season was like 100 miles an hour. And you saw that. The perfect example, the Terry McLaurin where he tipped it and it was intercepted. I forgot who it was. It was like second half of the season. I've erased every game from last year out of my memory. But that interception, first off, he had the check down. I think it was to Antonio Gibson. I can't remember right there. But if he's going to even try to throw it to Terry McLaurin, he just launches it to where it hits his hand and it's an easy tip drill for an interception. He doesn't have the touch and the, I want to, I'm trying to make up a word for this. Like, he can't control it as much as Drake May. And that's super important. You got to know when to take those easy checkdowns and know how to get it there. You got to know how to be able to drop it in. He did a couple times, but just not at a consistent rate. Drake May did it at a consistent rate. And at times that it was dropped. Sam Howell didn't really have nearly as many drops as Drake May had. That wasn't really a thing. He had Josh Downs, who had 100 catches, became the 4th ACC wide receiver ever to have 100 catches in a season. Josh Downs is going to be killing it for the Colts for a long time. And Drake May his best one was Tez Walker, and he missed, the first 6 games? And I think it's important to talk about because I hear it all the time, but I think they are completely different quarterbacks, and I see it when I watch the film. I love what I saw from Sam Howell in North Carolina, how he was able to sling it. And most of those, big time throws were like deep balls to De'Ami Brown, who can't do anything now. But it's a different style for Drake May. Anyways, that was kind of a long thing. But not going to lie, I'm fielding one call for number 2, and that's the Pats. I mean, to some extent, maybe, but I don't know. I would much rather, and I know this is going to sound stupid, like, I just want Adam Peters to pick his guy. If it is Jaden Daniels, that's fine with me. Once again, I've said this for months now. I like Drake May. I like Jaden Daniels. But if it's me and I'm picking at 2, it's Drake May. I think that's the guy that's the long-term answer. He's still super young. He's still getting better, but you see the raw talent there. You can make something special out of Drake May. I think he already has some special traits. Funny, Oregon, Ohio State had quarterback bust until recently. The whole helmet scouting thing is terrible. It makes no sense. I don't like the May tape. He don't do it for me. When he under pressure, he breaks. Offensive line's been bad. Once again, Sam Howell had same problems. Bad line. Same with Ohio State, Clemson, LSU, Oregon, etc. Right? And that's the thing. Like, people say, "Oh, I don't want a quarterback from here." Like, okay, well, Josh Allen's great. We should just draft whoever the Wyoming quarterback is. It's the same thought process. Or see what Texas Tech quarterback's coming out, and he's going to be Patrick Mahomes, right? No, I'm telling you, especially at quarterback. You can talk about wide receivers, you can talk about DBs. It's still wrong. But from a quarterback standpoint, it's so different. Like, every quarterback is different in their own ways. Drake is a franchise guy. Daniels will not last long in the NFC East. I think he'll have he'll have a good career. Once again, I think he will be good, like, off the bat. But I think Drake May is going to be great, like, maybe a year from now. I'm glad Pick 6 Sam be traded soon. I don't think he's going to be traded, though. They said the same about Lamar. But Lamar, to his credit, huge credit, the dude showed up. He proved everybody wrong. He worked on his passing. and he's really good at it now. Some people don't agree with that, but I think Lamar can throw. He's shown that. But coming in, Lamar couldn't throw it like a lot of these quarterbacks, but he's gotten better. So he shut up, put up, proved people wrong. He does not need to be a wide receiver. This guy's playing pick Drake. Lamar still hasn't won a ring. Choke artist. I mean, that's kind of like what I was saying. Like you have to be able to make these crazy throws. I think Lamar's getting there. How they didn't, make a run at the ring this year, like they should have been in the Super Bowl. All right. There's a lot of chats. So let me get to this next pick because there's a lot of chats. I won't be able to get to all of them. This is where I'm having a super hard time on this pick. And this is where like free agency is going to be big. Free agency is going to help you really set up to when you get to the draft, you're like, okay, who is the best player available? And if you ask me who the best player is on this list right here, it's Tyler Newman and it's Zach Frazier by a long mile. There's still some really good talent under them, but Tyler Newman, if you put him at that free safety spot, I think they're going to tag Cam Curl in the next few days. But then outside of that, I'm not comfortable or I'm not confident with Percy Butler. Is Derek Forrest good enough to start at free safety the whole year? Maybe, but can you upgrade that position? Yeah. Like, are we really saying, guys, it's fine? What is Quan Martin's role going to be in that secondary? Is he going to rotate around? Is he going to stay at free safety? Is that what Dan Quinn's going to want? Is that what Joe Wood Jr. is going to want? I can't wait to see what they decide to do with these pieces. Same with Forbes. What the heck are they going to do with him? Like, are we worried? Should you get TJ Tampa here? That's what I'm saying. Like, the free agency is really going to set up this pick alone. This pick and pick 40 is where free agency is really going to set this pick up because you can just get the best one available. Now, I don't know what we're going to do in free agency, but I've been doing the free agent videos recently. If you haven't watched them, go do it. I've done a edge one. I've done the offensive line one so far, and I'm getting to the rest this week. But in my opinion, I'm not 100% confident in the tackle free agent market. Like I said, you have your Jonah Williams, you have some stopgap guys here, Trent Brown, Mike Nwanu, who else is there? I know I'm missing a couple. There's a couple though. There's a couple. And then I talked about Charles Leno, his contract on the video as well. But and for me, this pick, I want Jordan Morgan, number 40 overall ranking on PFF's mock draft board. And I saw him at the Senior Bowl, and he wasn't talked about a lot, which honestly is good. If you're getting talked about a lot, maybe you're doing like these crazy nasty blocks. They were talking about Jackson Powers Johnson a lot, Talise Fuaga, of course, but you're not getting beat. You're not getting talked bad about. But I like Jordan Morgan. He faced some of the hardest pass rushers in college football last year with Oregon, with UCLA, with the Murphy twins, with Latu, Braylon Trice at Washington, the Pac-12, Jonah Ellis for Utah. Like, the Pac-12 had the best pass rushers in the country this year, and Jordan Morgan went through a gauntlet and came out on top of almost all of them. So for me, I want that left tackle of the future. And free agency, you stick with Leno. If you even get rid of Leno, once again, I talked about this in the video, but long story short, if you're going to get rid of him, it's going to be a post June 1st. So he's going to be on your roster going into the draft just in case, because once again, you don't know how this is going to fall. Maybe Jordan Morgan's gone. Maybe Patrick Paul's gone, which they have Patrick Paul really low here. I think he's going to be higher than what they have him as. But in my opinion, I'm going Jordan Morgan at 40 here, getting that left tackle of the future. I think he could be the staple guy that stays out there for a while. I like Jordan Morgan a lot. Now this is where it gets tricky because there's a lot of players I like here. But I will tell you what I've done the last few times is I've hit this trade button because Washington has a lot of needs. And this is a very good top 100 draft. The top, usually for me, it's like top 60 is really good. First 2 rounds is really good. It's more than the first 3 rounds. Like, the top 100 for me in this draft is huge. This is a loaded talent draft. It doesn't matter what position you want. I got you with people. So in my opinion, what I've been doing, it's not showing it on the screen, but I can see it here. I'm usually going to the Falcons. I don't want to go too far back. But there's options here I really like. So what I've been doing is 43, and I've been getting 110. And then I trade that Chicago pick 40 offer. Boom. They gave it to me, of course. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more for y'all. Resume draft. So I go back 3 spots. Who goes? Michael Penix Jr. Is who the Falcons took. Zach Frazier, really like him at center, by the way. In my opinion, like I said on the offensive line video, I gave you who I really want in free agency at center. And if we end up getting him in free agency, I'm not going to take a center in this draft unless there's one like late. Like I'm not going to tell you, but there's a guy I like in the 7th that pops up a lot. Adisa Isaac, edge. Once again, I talked about the edge. There's a couple options. It's not as the edge free agent class isn't as loaded as it really seems, because those guys like Brian Burns is going to get tagged, Josh Allen's going to get tagged, Danielle Hunter is out there, Bryce Huff is out there, Jonathan Grenard. I don't think they'll tag him. They might though, the Texans, but he had a really good season. But still, I'm looking at these edge rushers here. I'm looking at Jatavian Sanders. I really want Dalton Schultz in free agency. I would love to have Dalton Schultz. But if not, Jatavian Sanders at 43, we need a tight end. Once again, I've talked about it a little bit. I don't see Logan Thomas coming back. The salary that you save getting rid of him, and he's just not efficient anymore. He just really doesn't fit what Cliff is going to do anyways. You want a receiving tight end out there for what Cliff's going to do. But, I mean, he's got to be able to block too. But, man, I mean, the top, 5 right here or 6. Kamar Laster, cool. I'm not going to take a corner this high. But Jatavian Sanders, Chop Robinson, Darius Robinson, that's tough. Let me know what y'all think. Should I go tight end right now, or should I wait? Or should I take an edge? This is a deep edge class too, but guys, Chop Robinson and Darius Robinson are built different. Let me know what you think. I've got, I'd go Sanders. JT's an animal. All right, I'm gonna trust y'all. I'm gonna go with it. I like JT Sanders. Obviously, I live here in Austin, Texas. I'm like not even 10 minutes from the University of Texas, but I've got people in the chat saying go. Well, now I got people saying don't go JT. Someone says Chop, got to go edge, and that's the thing. Edge, I would like Danielle Hunter, but you still have another big void, and we need a high upside guy. All right, I changed my mind. Sorry, guys. I'm going edge. Oh, man. Chop Robinson or Darius Robinson is tough. I'm going to go Chop, though. Stick to my Penn State roots. Love Chop. Super cool dude. He's been great every time I've talked to him. But I will say Darius Robinson has been my crush since November. Been tweeting about this dude. Built in a lab, freak. I told him when I saw him, dude, you've got the measurables. You've got the tape. I can't wait to see what he does at the combine. But once again, yeah, vet tight end would be great. Like I said, Dalton Schultz would be a big signing in my opinion. He's younger than I thought. He's 27, 27 or 28. I would love Dalton Schultz. That's my dream pick. And then get someone, y'all know who my other tight end draft crush is, of Ben Sinnott. Maybe we'll get him later on. So we got Drake May, Jordan Morgan at left tackle, Chop Robinson coming off the edge. Chop Robinson, man, is different. I just love how he no gloves, no hand wraps, no elbow pads, nothing. Just hand in the dirt, getting after the quarterback. Insane get off, great moves, great power. Noah Fant's another one. He's been linked to us the last month. Definitely could see it. All right, now this is where it's tricky. Jonathan Brooks, you're going Christian Haynes. Huge Washington fan. Talked to him at the Senior Bowl. He would love to come here. I think he could play left guard easily. You got Blake Fisher, who can be a good right tackle. But then this is when you start getting the wide receivers. Xavier Leggett, Jamari Thrash, Brendan Rice, and then my guy Malachi Corley. These are all different styles of wide receivers. This wide receiver class is loaded, and it's like trail mix. You can just pick which one you like the most. Which one? I like the little breadsticks personally. That's me. Got a couple people saying who they like here. I like Schultz. I'm sure Texans will sign him. I don't know, because they have Brevin Jordan. Maybe they just get another one. They've got some people they've got to pay. Yes, hit that like button. I appreciate you. Definitely hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button while you're here. Like I said, you can join and support the channel. Become a member for only $2.99 a month. We got Leggett, linebacker or wide receiver here. Fant has been injury prone though, right? I think so. Yeah. I want to say the last 2 years he's had a couple. We got Leggett. Oh man, y'all killing me because I was ready to go with my guy Malachi Corley. But y'all saying Leggett, and I can see it. I know Leggett's smaller than I thought he would be. He's like right at 6 foot, maybe 5'11". But he does not play it at all. You go watch that Florida game. He had like a really deep post route. And my gosh, the dude just floats. Like he plays like a Megatron for his size. Like I'm like, how does he get up and catch these balls? His catch radius is insane. He can get up and catch anything. Y'all are telling me go Leggett. I'm not going to go against the chat. I love Leggett as well. I've been picking Malachi Corley because that's my guy. I'm rocking with him. But I'm going to listen to y'all. Go Xavier Leggett on the outside. I would love Mike Evans. I wouldn't love Mike Evans' price tag, but we have the money. T. Higgins got tagged. Michael Pittman Jr. is probably going to get tagged. Who else is out there? There's like Hollywood Brown. There's a couple little, sprinkling wide receiver twos. Maybe we re-sign Curtis Samuel. I don't think so. So I'm going with Leggett. I get it. I like it. A deep threat guy. I think Xavier Leggett could win at all 3 levels, short, intermediate, and deep. Now let's see what we got here. We've got pretty much 3 picks in the next 10 because of the trade back I did, which is great. Because it really helps you and makes this next pick okay. Because there's only one way to go with this pick every time I do it. There's no other person I ever get. And it's Bucky Irving. I think Bucky Irving is my number 1 running back in the draft class. This isn't a draft where you're going to see, Bijan Robinson or Gibbs taken in the first round. You're not going to see that. But you're going to have some really good running backs coming off the board late second. I think it'll be more late second. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be in the third because every other position is so deep. But you're going to have Bucky Irving. You're going to have Trey Benson, who's a beast. Ray Davis is a bowling ball. Super fast, too. You got some good guys. But in my opinion, I'm going Bucky Irving. I love what he can do on the ground. I love what he can do in the receiving game. I think Bucky and B-Rob is a great duo. And people are like, oh, you don't need a running back. You don't need one in the third. I'm not comparing him to Jahmyr Gibbs, but just look at how much Jahmyr Gibbs, Devon Chan, Keaton Mitchell when he was healthy, how much these running backs have really helped out these teams, their rookie seasons. I like Bucky. I'm going Bucky, and we have a pick and 2 more picks. So it's not the end of the world. You're going to have plenty of picks coming up here, but I'm going Bucky. Let's see. People saying Stover, Eichenberg. Honestly, I'm not a fan of either of those guys. I'm not a Cade Stover fan, and I'm not an Eichenberg fan either. Corley is a Debo 2.0. Exactly. I know we see that every single year, but it's been wrong until now. Like he's literally Debo to a T. Washington is a big wide receiver. I don't disagree with that, but at the same time, I'm not bracketing that wide receiver like, oh, he has to be a big one. I don't think so. It just needs to be a guy that can win at all 3 levels and a guy that can demand, some attention and help Terry McLaurin out, help Jahan, who's probably going to go to the slot. You're going to see him outside. You're going to see him in the slot too. You're going to see a lot of 4 wide receiver sets, maybe even 5 wide receiver sets with Cliff. But he just wants to eat the middle of the field, which Xavier Leggett, like I said, deep post route with Xavier Leggett all day long. All day long, he's winning those matchups. Radar says, Josh, who do you see us targeting in free agency? I like Ray Davis. I do like Ray Davis too. I don't see us going after a running back. I shouldn't say I don't want Saquon, but Saquon, Josh Jacobs. I don't want any veteran running backs. I would love a guy like Bucky or Ray Davis or Trey Benson, that second running back that can, complement B-Rob, because B-Rob was a beast this past year. And we saw something in his game that as an Alabama fan, I haven't even seen, that the receiving threat that B-Rob brought to the offense last year. And I think Bucky's a big play guy. I love Bucky's game. You know, he cost me some money this year. He was doing some fishy things with his yardage, but I'm not going to get into that. He cost me about $300 this season, but it's okay. Frankie Louvu is a must in free agency. Yes, I like Frankie. I like Patrick Queen. There's some linebackers. I might do that video next. Actually, I probably will do linebackers next. Do I see Washington going after Kyler Murray when he gets cut? No. And I don't see them even cutting Kyler Murray because of the money. They're going to keep Kyler another year. They're going to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. or trade back and get like Neighbors or Roma Dunze. They're going to get a really good wide receiver. All right, next pick here. This is where it gets tricky too. I like Dominic Pooney because he can play left tackle and left guard. So he could be the left guard next year. Some people said Eichenberg. Some people said Stover. I'm just not a fan. I do like Estime. I love Jarvis Brownlee Jr. I love Max Mountain. If you want to go corner, if we didn't go wide receiver, Javon Baker would be good. Dadrian Taylor Demerson's a guy who I usually pick here. Him and Tyke Smith. Like I said, guys, me personally, I'm not 100% confident in the safety room we have right now. I'm not 100% confident in it. I think we need safety help. It's just too many big plays given up. And honestly, my favorite safety out of all of them, man, I like Tyke. But I like, for a free safety, a guy who can cover high by himself, I really like DTD. So that's the way I'm going. Like I said, I can't see these big plays happening again. I want to see what Dan Quinn and Coach Witt will do with a guy like him. I really like his game. He's super underrated, but you'll hear more about him. I think he'll pop out of the combine. Let's see what we got. I mean, like I said, guys, we still have pick 110. Now, this one is where I have started going with a guy who really impressed the heck out of me at the Senior Bowl. He was talked about a lot in a good way. People were like, whoa, this guy was not on our radar, and he's winning some big reps. Once again, I'm keeping it here in Texas. Christian Jones, right tackle. He's still a little raw. He still needs some work. But he was showing me some really good things in Mobile at the Senior Bowl. Like I said, guys, there was big boy reps that he was winning. I think at this spot, when you're looking at a right tackle with some upside, like I said, I think we signed one tackle in free agency, whether it's left or right, but still draft one. Like I said, if you haven't watched that offensive line video that I did yet, go watch it. I go through our free agents, I go through the contracts, and then I go through some free agent targets. But in my opinion, and this is another thing, I see some people drafting like 5 offensive linemen in their mock drafts. That's not going to happen. Okay, guys, they're not going to just build the whole line in the draft. You need some veterans, especially if you do get rid of Charles Leno. I could see Wiley moving to left guard. Contract wise, it just didn't make sense to get rid of him like this year, next year for sure. Once again, Leno, Nick Gates, he shouldn't be on this team. And then we have like 3 other free agents, Lucas, Larson. I swear there was another one. I can't remember. But in my opinion, like 2 or 3 in the draft, that's good. So at this point, there are some guys I like on here. Don't need another running back. I don't want Stover. Don't really need another wide receiver. We're good on that. Justin Boygby can play all over the D-line. Cool. Muhammad Kamara, if I didn't go Chop Robinson, this is where I would get my edge probably. I like his upside. But I'm getting Christian Jones. I once again, I think that upside at right tackle is there for him. Oh, I already know who I'm picking. This is actually tough too. But still, we got Jordan Morgan for the left tackle. We got Christian Jones for right tackle. We've got 3 more picks. Let me just go through real quick and refresh for those who are coming in late. I have us getting Drake May at 2. I have us getting Jordan Morgan with that second pick at pick 36. I traded back with the Falcons. I went from 40 to 43, picked up that 110 pick. And got Chop Robinson because there was 3 edge guys there At 40, I trade it back. I'm fine with Chop Adisa or Darius Robinson. Give me any of those three guys on the edge next year, and I will be ecstatic. Ecstatic. I'm a big fan of all three of those. Didn't go JT Sanders. He went to the Jags. It's all right, guys. Still need a tight end. I'm about to get one. I took Xavier Leggett. I wanted to go Malachi Corley, but the chat talked me into it. They said, Josh, go Xavier Leggett. So I listened to y'all. I am fine with Malachi Corley. I love Malachi Corley. I'm gonna try to get him on the channel soon. It's one of my favorite guys. I definitely want to stream with him, do something with him. But I picked 67. I got Xavier Leggett, that outside wide receiver. That can take some attention off of Terry and Jahan, and dude catches everything. I love Xavier Leggett's game. Let's see who we got. And then I got Bucky Irving. I pick 101 for the Chase Young pick. In round 4, started out with DTD at safety. That a guy that can be a really good coverage free safety guy, help with those big plays. I think it's just a need. I've pissed people off last season saying our safety room is bad. Manny Camercrow got in a fight on Twitter. Not going to talk about that, but I think he gets tagged. And I think that I don't feel good about Percy Butler and Forrest being the guys, and maybe Quan Martin is going to be that safety guy full time. But I really like what we saw when they were moving him around. Whether he's in playing nickel, he played some corner, he played some free safety, he played as that box safety in some coverages. I think that's what he does good. I don't want Quan just to be at one spot. Move him around where he can just run around and be that guy. I liked what I saw out of Quan. I think Quan's going to be good. Pick 110, got the right tackle, Christian Jones out of Texas. Needs a little bit of work, but he can be good. He can be good. All right, so this is where I'm getting my tight end. I love Cooper Beebe. We need a left guard. Once again, I had a couple options in free agency. I think we will go that route. But if not, if Cooper Beebe's in the 5th round, take him. I do not see him making it to the 5th round at all. I don't see him getting past the 3rd. It would be crazy if he gets past the 2nd, in my opinion. Crazy. A couple chats real quick. I've heard anything from Omar Spates. I remember Omar Spates. I think he started out at LSU, was crazy good. Then he transferred to Oregon State. I don't know what happened to him, but he was insane. And then just fell off big time. Do you think Xavier Worthy's a 1st round pick? He might go late 1st, or he's going to go early 2nd. I think he's going to be on the board when we pick. Tyke Smith is nice. Senate. Is that Bryson kid from Stanford done? Bryson Tremaine. I can't remember. I don't see him coming back. He's a big dude, though. I remember he had a crazy grab at training camp. I was like, dang, what a catch. But still, shout out to my guy, Mitch Tinsley. I hope he actually gets a chance this year coming up, because I like Mitch a lot. And it's funny, he has some Malachi Corley to his game, not just because they both played at Western Kentucky and had the same route tree, but I like Mitch. I hope Mitch gets a chance because he's good. All right, let's see. Like I said, guys, I don't see Cooper Beebe being on the board, so I'm acting like he's not even here, because I don't think that he's going to be there in the 2nd. So I'm going Ben Sinnott. Once again, y'all know Ben is my guy. Probably my favorite guy that I've talked to at the Senior Bowl, just chopping up. He was one of the boys. The first time I saw Ben Sinnott playing was against Alabama in the bowl game. It was the Capital One. Was it Sugar Bowl? I can't remember. 2 years ago. I was like, yo, who is this random number 34 running these NFL routes and making crazy grabs on my Alabama defense, who had no opt-outs, by the way? And it was Ben Sinnott, and he had a really good season this past year, too. He is the best blocking tight end in college last year. He won the Fullback of the Year award last year because he's so good at blocking as a tight end. The dude can run some routes, though. I think he is so underrated in the receiving game. I'm telling y'all, I love Ben Sinnott. I'm a big Sinnott fan. I would go as far as to say sign Dalton Schultz and draft Ben Sinnott. John Bates does not move anything for me, let alone a little needle. He doesn't move anything for me. Cole Turner, Armani Rogers, if he's healthy. Cole Turner was a healthy scratch like all of like the second half of the year, which I thought was crazy. I would like Cole to get a chance as a receiving guy for sure. He's got great hands. He had the best hands of any tight end in his draft class. But personally, I'm going Ben Sinnott here. Load up that tight end spot, please. Like we have not had that tight end since Jordan Reed. So Ben Sinnott is not a fullback. He just won the fullback of the year award because he was like the best blocking tight end. So Ryan, I just gave a recap, but I'll tell you real quick. I got Drake May at 2, Jordan Morgan. Oh shoot, I forgot. Jordan Morgan, Chop Robinson, because I traded back and got pick 110 to go back a couple spots. Chop Robinson, 43. So yeah, Drake May, Jordan Morgan, Chop Robinson, and then Xavier Leggett in the 3rd, which honestly I do really like. Bucky Irving at 101, DTD, Dadrian Taylor Dimerson, who's super underrated. Safety at 103. I could see corner. But once again, I like the free agent market at corner too. Christian Jones, right tackle. And then Ben Sinnott at tight end. Holker is there. Take him. He's one of the best blocking tight ends in college. I do like Holker's game. Like, what was that game he popped out? Colorado. People are like, oh, yo, who's this guy? I like him. But I like Ben a little bit more. I don't even know if Holker got drafted yet. So they have him going 155 to the Dolphins. So I took Ben. But I do like Holker a lot. Dalen Holker, Colorado State. All right, so let's see what I'm doing here. I do like Vidal, already got a running back. I do like Jalen Simpson. If you don't go DTD at safety, so you go somewhere else, corner, whatever. Jalen Simpson, even though he played at Auburn, I'll give him a pass. Let's see. We do need a linebacker in this draft. I 100% agree with you. There's 2 guys I really like. It's not Steel Chambers. I was hoping they'd be closer. Cedric Gray is one of my favorite linebackers in this class. I don't know if he's already been taken. I think so. Yeah, he did. But I will say Trevin Wallace is not going this far. He's actually really good. Darius Muasu, another super underrated guy. I saw a couple people talking about him recently because you're watching a lot too. You're watching the Murphy twins get to the quarterback, and then you see this really good linebacker behind them. Obviously, I like Curtis Jacobs too. Jalen Ford, I think he's underrated as well. I like Aaron Casey. There's Omar Spates. I know we talked about him a little bit. But there's some linebackers I like. I'm probably not taking one right now. 220 is probably where I grab either Wallace or Muasu. But I like the free agent. Like I like the free agent. Once again, it's going to really tell us a lot. Jalen Ford's probably about to be taken soon. But say we get Patrick Queen. I mean, you still drafting linebacker. You have to draft a linebacker. But let me see who's on here first. I might take him. Roger Rosengarten is a really good right tackle prospect. Trevor Keegan. Oh, it's going to be impossible to pass up on him. I know he got hurt in the season. That's a left guard option. Y'all are mad at me whenever I don't take enough offensive linemen in my mock drafts. Anthony Gold. Brew McCoy. God, he fell off. Javion Cohen at left guard too. I really like. Man, this is tough. Do I go linebacker or do I take one more guard here? I can go Trevor Keegan or I could go Javion Cohen, or I can just go ahead and reach, as people will say, for a linebacker. I pick at 220. So Red Wing said, let's go Frank Gore's kid. That dude can run, too. He runs angry. Shout out to Frank Gore Jr. I love watching his games. Dude runs angry all the time. I'm gonna go left guard though, guys. Once again, I think Wiley going out to left guard is a move that you could do. It makes sense financially. It makes no sense getting rid of him. Playing him at left guard, do it. But still, I really want another option at left guard. I think Ricky Stromberg is there. I don't think he'll be a center. Maybe he'll be the depth centerpiece because, once again, Larson's a free agent. Nick Gates does not need to be on this team. Trevor Keegan's a beast, though. The only reason his draft stock is hurt because he got hurt. But I'm still going Trevor Keegan. Like, if he's there, take him. Like, the upside is enormous. If not, I usually go Tanner Bortolini too. I said at the beginning of the video, there's a center that I like a lot in the late rounds. That's Tanner Bortolini from Wisconsin. This is where I'm going to go my linebacker. Like I said, guys, my thought process is we signed just overall, most of our money is going to go towards the defense in free agency. Majority of it. That's why I don't have us getting like a corner with like one of the first 3 picks. Edge is like the one where you're like, okay, we need 2. You know, you can sign a Daniil Hunter, you can sign a Bryce Huff, but you still need a pretty, I don't want to say really high edge, but just a really, high ceiling edge. Guy who's going to come in and make plays. So that's why I was fine taking Chop Robinson when I did. That's why I'm fine taking a safety guy later on. And same with linebacker. I would love Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I would love Adrian Cooper, but you're going to have to get those guys high in the draft. First 4 picks, you're going to have to get one of those guys, either in the second or the third. But in my opinion, this is why it's a pre-free agency mock draft, because I'm just thinking situations. I would like to see Patrick Queen. Azeez Al-Shahir is super cheap option. Like I said, I'll do a linebacker video next for free agency. But I think you sign one that's a starter, and then you still draft one who's going to rotate in, make some plays. Gosh, Trevin Wallace is a beast. People are like, oh my God, Kentucky linebacker Jamin Davis. No. He's different. But I've been going with the same guy, and I really don't want to change it up because I like him a lot. And that's Darius Mosso. Yeah, he had a big year last year. Like I said, it's funny because you're watching these edge rushers, and you're like, who is this linebacker popping out? If he's there, he's a steal in the 7th round, in my opinion, especially with this linebacker class. This isn't the best. If Cedric Gray's there in like the 5th, cool. Like, I love Cedric Gray too. That's my dude. And he said Washington had a lot of conversations with him at the Senior Bowl, more than one. I see people saying so Chris Paul was one of the worst offensive linemen in the whole NFL last year. I hate to say it. Shout out to my guy Mason Brooks. Love Mason too. I think he could be a good depth guy. But like, once again, guys, we have to solidify that offensive line. Domo D-Man says, I don't see us getting Queen. I see us getting someone like Jordan Brooks. Once again, would love it. Or Azeez Al-Shahir. I love Azeez Al-Shahir. Super cheap option too. Adam Peters knows him. I wanted him last year when the Titans signed him for like 1 year. Was it $6 million, something like that, or $8 million, something stupid cheap. And he's going to be cheap this year too. I would draft at least 2 offensive linemen, return specialist. We do need a return specialist. Let's see what we got in this little recap though. Drake May at 2. Jordan Morgan, left tackle of the future, at pick 36. I traded back 3 picks for the Falcons because I really want as many picks in that top one, close to 100 as possible. But at 110, I got potential starting offensive lineman. So Chop Robinson at 43 after I traded back with the Falcons. Xavier Leggett, at 67. And by the way, guys, I don't care about these grades because how many times has the draft ever happen the way that we think it's going to? Never. And these guys could be better or they could be worse than what you think. That's the fun of the draft. So Chop Robinson, Xavier Leggett outside of Terry McLaurin. Dude, I love it. If you haven't watched Xavier Leggett tape yet, I'm telling you, go watch this past season where he just took over games, had like 150 yards almost. I think there's a couple games where he had like 200 yards. Bucky Irving at 101, Dadrian Taylor Demerson, C-. Shut it, PFF. Telling you guys, I like him. He's around the ball a lot, super instinctive guy, high IQ player. I don't like our safety room as it is. You hate that, but I love it. I like him a lot. Christian Jones, high upside right tackle. Just needs a few things to work on. Ben Sinnott, one of my guys of the draft. Everybody's starting to catch on now. Ben Sinnott in the 5th would feed families. Trevor Keegan, by the way, like I said, really good left guard before he got hurt. Really good. The dude could, once he's like at 100%, he could be the starting left guard for a long time. If you tell me we get him in the 6th round, yes, please. I don't care who we sign off agency. Yes, get him. And then linebacker out of UCLA in the 7th, Darius Muaso. Once again, super instinctive guy, great leader. I talked to Latu about him and the Murphy twins at the Senior Bowl, and he spoke very highly of him. I think they're great options. So I love this draft. Some people said this is a good draft. Let me know what y'all think. Once again, there's a couple picks I didn't want that y'all wanted, but I'm not mad at it at all. Honestly, I love this draft. I think it's really good. Leggett just mosses dudes. It makes no sense. I thought he was 6'2" or something like that. No, literally. I thought he was 6'3". And then I got to the Senior Bowl. I'm like, yo, this guy's like 5'11", almost 6 foot. But he does not play it at all. He catches everything. And yes, listen to Richard. Smash the like button. It is free. It absolutely is free. And subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. But let me know what y'all think. We're building around Drake May in my mock draft. The number 2 pick, Jordan Morgan, left tackle. Chop coming off the edge. Xavier Leggett, Bucky Irvin, Dadrian Taylor Demerson, Christian Jones, Ben Sinnott, Taylor Keegan, Darius Muaso. So I like it. Where's the kicker at? We better be trying to find someone in the UFL like the Cowboys did. Same with the long snapper. I'm not drafting any special team specialist. Absolutely not. And I pray Adam Peters knows better. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. And if you would pick someone different, let me know. Drop it in the comments. But like I said, I appreciate y'all for stopping by. It's time to get back to some more free agency stuff. Like I said, I have my whoops, I done took myself out. I've got some more Bleacher Report stuff I'm doing. Like I said, Tuesday I have a stream where I talk about draft prospects that I like for Washington, just kind of situational, but also just like fits. Like when I'm watching them, I'm like, ooh, that guy would be really good on Washington. And I probably drafted a couple of them today, but I'm going to go talk about it a little bit more and pick some guys that I didn't pick today. There's an offensive lineman I didn't even see on the board today that I actually really like for Washington, but he didn't come up. So stay tuned for that. 1:00 Eastern time, Tuesday on the Bleacher Report app. Download it and follow me on there if you haven't already. And then hit that subscribe button because I'll be dropping the linebacker free agent video this week. Not sure what day. Might be like Wednesday or Thursday. I usually give it like a day or two after to drop another video. But stay tuned, guys. It's coming up quick. The tag period's happening. If we end up tagging Cam Curl or paying Cam Curl, you know I'm going to go live and talk about it like I do whenever we break any kind of big news the night that the news breaks. So if I'm at work, when I get home, I will go live and I'll let y'all know. And we're going to talk about it. Good, bad, ugly, whatever it is. Well, that's what we do on this channel. I appreciate y'all for stopping by. Like I said, I'm Josh Taylor. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.